The Gundam Card Game has announced that there's a possible ban list dropping this Friday. I'm going to tell you why banning cards will not fix the problems with the Gundam Card Game. What's up, y'all? It's Garrett with Talking Cards, and I know it's been a minute. Just pretty much ever since I got back from Nats, I've kind of took a break. The Gundam Card Game was at a place where I think everyone, as you've probably seen on YouTube, has been saying the same stuff over and over ad nauseum. Talking about Blue Purple, talking about all the things that we kind of already know, and we kind of already understand where the Gundam Card Game's at, and which has even brought us to the point that Bandai has made an announcement that this Friday, 3/27, that there could be the potential for a ban list or a limited card list coming out from them because of the use that they saw at Worlds of certain cards and certain colors and, you know, that sort of thing. None of this is too surprising, especially considering that we've seen, you know, for example, blue be such a presence from the beginning of the game, really. I mean, green, blue, now it's just purple, blue. Purple, blue offers a lot more than green, blue, I'd argue. And it's, in my opinion, a tier 0 deck. That doesn't mean tier 0 decks can't be beat, especially in a lucky game like Gundam. But this video is gonna be about talking about why this potential ban list or limit list won't really fix the problems. So let's start with point 1, card design. I think card design is the first thing we should look at. There are great cards in the Gundam Card Game like Amuro Ray, Corsica Base. These are the potential cards people are talking about should be banned, yada, yada, yada. Do I think they should be? No, not really, to be honest. I think you could limit Corsica. I think that's really the only card that should even be looked at. I think Amuro should not be touched. I repeat, Amuro should not be touched. If you're mad at people playing Amuro, it's just a facet of the game. It's not this dominant card. If anything, the problem is that from starter deck 01, which is where Amuro's from, we have not yet seen a better pilot than Amuro. That's the problem. That's a problem in card design. The other problem in card design that we have currently that we are facing is the power of a level 2 cost 1 2/2 unit. This is a fundamental problem because there is nothing better you can do in the game, especially for 1 mana. So let's say we get to a point where, you know, in the game I have 4 mana and I have, you know, 5 cards in hand at this point, maybe 4. I could literally for 4 mana play a Rezel and 2/2/1s. What turn is as strong as that? Even if you Gundam Amuro response and get rid of my Rezel, I still have 2 units on board. And if you don't have a base, I can just still take 2 shields for nothing. Like, there is such an advantage to making you have the answers in the Gundam Card Game. And that's really where we're at. Can red, blue stop aggro and blockers and stuff? Of course it can. We're not talking about what can happen. Anything can happen in the Gundam Card Game. It is a game of low consistency, I would say. And that's the problem with the 2/2 cost 1 level 2 unit, is that consistently it's an easy thing to ask for your deck to present itself in. I can, back to the green blue days, run 16 of these cards to where I have high odds of consistently getting this, consistently flooding the board, and consistently doing this one thing, where I'd argue most decks are not that consistent in the Gundam Card Game. I also think another problem we're facing is the reliance on pilots. For you to really answer a purple-blue board, you need something like a Kshatriya and a Merida, and those are things that are hard to consistently see. You're really hoping to see them more than you're consistently doing anything to see them. And that's another point that I want to make real quick, is that I believe the fact that there's nothing better to do for 1 mana that early in the game than play a 2/2 unit is another point of contention. Because, like, if we had a searcher like we see in One Piece that costs 1 mana, or like in Dragon Ball that costs 1 mana, we have in this game for 1 resource, the best thing you can do is this 2/2 unit and just start going at shields. And the way the game's set up, this is giving you such an advantage if the other deck is also not an aggro deck. But if I was to play a control deck, like something like a red-blue has now turned into, or a green-white, and I had these low-level searchers from the beginning of the game, I could consistently maybe see my blockers to make sure that I can survive to the later game. I can make sure to find certain pieces of my deck that allow me to have counterplay, and not only that, bring some level of skill into it as I'm making decisions from what I'm searching my deck for and filtering for to get to this point and this point in the game. And right now we're kind of just playing where you have your normal level of players, let's just call it casual play, right? That if you're at that level, totally fine. I think actually the Gundam card game is super great as a casual game. As a competitive game, I think this is where we're talking about these issues. But at a higher level of play, we aren't doing too much consistently. We're just consistently making a bunch of micro decisions that we're saying, okay, I have 3 turns to draw this card, and if this lines up with this play, and I can start working towards that play and trying to factor in what I can draw into, will allow me to take this line of play versus that line of play versus, oh, I've already seen 2 of those cards, so my odds of drawing that card are not much. And you have to factor in all these decisions, and a bunch of micro decisions is what is defining competitive play right now. And my problem with that is it's not too much in my control. Making these decisions, yes, that's very much in my control, and really it comes down to a lot of sequencing and a lot of prediction, if you will, as to what will happen in the conclusion of the game and how I'm going to find my win con. The sole product of how we're playing this game at this high level is due to this card design that I've spoken of. And I think that's like the best point to kind of end on. Where like, I love the lore of these cards, like, I think cards do things that are appropriate for like the lore of Gundam, and I love to see that. I love to see how it all works together as a whole. Like that's really cool from like a story perspective. However, the fact that 2/2s really are overtuned for the fact that they need to be answered and how they can be answered right now in the Gundam card game. Amuro being the best pilot and us still at a point where we haven't got anything close to seeing something as good. And then 3 is consistency. There's no consistency to the game right now, I'd argue, and that I'm in control of besides mulligan. And that's why a mulligan is so huge in this game. And these 3 factors really are defining and showing, I think, a problem in the card design. Another problem, which was addressed at Worlds and we've seen addressed in various places, is the fact that the game is still, as of right now, a best of 1 game. So why does it matter that the game's a best of 1 game? Well, I think the problem with it is, on a competitive level, I might get sacked 1 game. Okay, in the Gundam card game, it is not hard to do. Anyone at any level could say, let's just say, okay, I have 3 2/2 units in my hand, a Rezel, and a Gundam. And then I draw Amuro. And if I play this all out on curve and I don't have to make any other skillful decisions, and I just don't have the answers because my deck did not allow me to have the answers, like let's just say I draw 4 pilots and a base, I lose. Okay, that happens. I might have mulled into that hand and now I lose. This isn't as much of a problem in other card games. Games like Dragon Ball or games like One Piece that are best of 1 in Swiss, there's so many skill checks throughout the entire game that I don't just lose because of an opening hand most of the time. I mean, it's still card games, it can still happen. But the rate that this happens in Gundam is just so high compared to other card games. So I really think this is, for the example I just explained, one of the best reasons to make it a best of 3. Not only that, if we go into best of 3 with a sideboard as well, that allows for one of the best attributes of the Gundam card game, deck building. A sideboard is so cool because between the game, let's say now because of game 1, I was playing blind, I don't know what you're playing, and now I know as purple, blue, I'm going up against red, blue. Okay, now I can go in and get my techs that I think are better for this matchup and put them into my deck and take things out. And this, let's just say 7 to 10 card sideboard, allow me the opportunity to make adjustments to my deck based on what I'm playing now that I have that knowledge. This is a very good skill check for competitive play. Once again, for casual play, I think it should stay best of 1. I think your locals should be best of 1. If your locals wants to change to best of 3 for competitive play, like closer to like a new type challenge or anything like that, rock on for that locals. I think that's awesome. But for competitive play and these new type challenges that we are now playing for a lot of money, right now, if you win the lock-on and the Dynamis, it's like a grand, we can say. That is a lot of money. And when you're playing for a lot of money and you're playing at a competitive level, you just want to know that your wins are earned and your losses are earned. In a best of 3, if you lost, yeah, you could have drawn 2 bad hands, sure, but you don't feel as bad about it. I'm trying to remove the bad losses out of the game, and I think the best way to do that is to move to a best of 3. So what other solutions are there that exist to fix some of the problems? Well, one thing I've seen some people say is bases dealing damage back. I actually like that idea of like maybe 1 damage back, so there's like a penalty, now it makes pings easier to close out, or anything like that. That's a cool idea that I don't know that it fixes the problem, but I think it is a step towards it. I'd love to see how that interaction plays out. I'd love to see how that works. Then bases could eventually become a problem. And they could become more important even, which I don't think would even be bad. I don't think bases are the most important thing. The craziest thing about Corsica is the free value it generates. It technically draws you a card because you're taking from your shields of a card that might not have had burst even. So now that card is guaranteed going to your hand and you're creating units for it. Show of Resolve, for example, costs 3. And it draws me 2 cards. Corsica is going to draw me 1, replacing itself and creating a unit, potentially sometimes 2 units. And the 2 units sometimes are even more backbreaking. So this is one of the reasons Corsica has been under heat lately, because it is just a very, very good card. And if anything, I do think out of all the things, if they're going to ban or limit something, I think Corsica is the way to go. But I really do think that like until we fix the other stuff, change card design to where we are looking for better earlier plays than just playing a 2/2, I don't think you're gonna have the solution you're searching for by just getting rid of an Amuro. Instead, all you're doing is just kind of taking away something a game needs. Resting units is a very common trope in card games, if you will. It's a very common thing to do. I mean, in Dragon Ball, for 1 mana, there are tons of units that can rest something for 1. It's just a common thing. It's nothing new to card games, and Amuro as an effect isn't that crazy. The problem is it's so only on Amuro, meaning like nothing else does anything as good as Amuro does for 1 mana. And that's the real problem I have here, in the fact that it wasn't card design, once again, linked to Gundam. Like the fact that it's just when paired is crazy. Another issue is we're not even seeing the cards in our deck, in our 50 card deck. Half the time you're lucky if the game ends and you got to see half your deck, 25 cards. More than not, you'll still have 30 cards left in deck when the game's over, especially with how aggressive the game is right now. So I'd rather see more, you know, deck building and all these other things, and I think those things can start to play out with those fixes to the Gundam card game. Once again though, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys found this video entertaining and hopefully maybe even, you know, highlighted some of the things you hadn't thought about with the Gundam card game. And if you guys disagree with me, comment down below, like, subscribe, do the whole 9 yards. I appreciate you guys and thanks for watching.